ESS. My name is Rashida.
My name is Parnian.
Our community challenge was set in place in Richmond Green Secondary School, namely in our parking lot / front area of our school where parents drop off their kids and the buses arrive. This is an overview map of this area that clearly defines this space using the red lines. Our question was, how might we reduce congestion while improving efficiency in the front of the school / parking lot area? This is because during drop-off and pickup times, these roads are extremely congested, which makes it inconvenient to use for students and teachers. Due to this, students usually walk in between the buses, which is very dangerous, or walk towards the wire T lane or to the side of the school on the grass. We brainstormed many ideas using sticky notes, teamwork, empathy maps, and photos of our site. There were some important things to address first before we came up with our solution, such as what was there and what was not there. The things we had in place was a bus priority lane, a bike rack fence alongside it, and a parking lot. What was not there was seating, greenery, color, signage, and shade. This made this area very dull and gray.
Here is our prototype. I'll just pass this to the judges. It showcases our school and our parking lot and the designs that we'd like to add to it. So our goal was to use directional signage to redirect and maintain a non-congested traffic flow during drop-off and dismissal periods, as due to buses and lots of cars, it can be very congested. So how will signage help? Signage will help control the overall flow of traffic. As you can see on the model, there we have in place some one-way roads, some do not enter signs, and some stop signs. It will make it clear to pedestrians and drivers where they can and cannot go. And users of the parking lot could benefit from improved traffic control, as it will help them arrive and leave faster. We also aim to create designated spots for buses so they know where to go. As you can see, we also added some painting to the front of the school. This is to tell the drivers where the buses are allowed to idle and not allowed to, and where they will stand for the kids to be able to go to the bus stops. Attractive patterns on the road would improve mood users and remind drivers of their limitations, such as bus drop-off. We did have quite a few challenges. So cars can be stuck in one area since they're all exiting at the same place. Also, the paint could take a little bit long to dry, which means that it'll be unable to access the area for a couple of months. It's also a little bit inconvenient for bikes and buses, and drivers would have to take an alternative route. This is especially troublesome for bus drivers and also for students who do take the bus. This could also increase a little bit of congestion, and they must have to work very quickly in order to open the area as soon as possible. Staying within budget, however, is not as hard, as we will show you our budget plan later. We might have a little bit of difficulty gathering the materials, as we need certain shades of paint for green and white, which are our school colors, which would also show school spirit. We would need to use water-based paint and obtain correct gear for the paintings. Drivers familiar with the road would have to adjust a little bit to the new signage and the new painting, telling them where they can idle and where they cannot idle. The paint could be damaged by the weather, especially if it is still wet. However, this can be solved with top coats. The patterns could be a little bit distracting, but after getting used to them, they would know that that is not where they are allowed to idle. That is only a spot for school buses. And drivers could focus on the patterns more than the pedestrians or other cars a little bit at first, and other signs and crosswalks may be covered up or a little bit harder to see. So our budget was that we would spend $600 on road signs and $400 on paint supplies. For any money that we have left, we were thinking of putting it on the fence that is, let me show you. So over here is a fence, and a lot of students just tend to put their bikes locked up to the fence. Bike racks would be a little bit more convenient, as the fences can get a little bit congested, and also for pedestrians, they don't have a lot of places to wait for their parents.
There's just 20 seconds left.
No problem. Thank you for listening to our pitch from 1UP RGSS.
Guess I'll go first this time. Thank you both for the presentation. It was lovely. In the earlier part, you mentioned that one of the things you noticed that there was a lack of shade and seating. Did a solution to that end up in your final idea?
So we have thought about putting benches because there is a lot of space right here where the students tend to go, and there's only one little door here, and then there's a lot of space there. Our team has been talking about if there is any excess funding to put a few benches there, just because it can get a little bit congested with a lot of students just standing around waiting for the school bus.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Did your team consider alternate methods of getting to the school beyond cars, and did you think about walking and cycling?
A lot of the kids that go to our school, I think over 50%, take the school bus, and they also drive. Our school is a transfer school, so a lot of the students are transfer students coming from different spots that have to drive and don't have, they can't walk to school just because it's not very close. And a lot of them are from the Oak Ridges area because that's where the school buses go, I think, again, around 50%. So that's why we kind of have to consider more like transportation methods rather than walking, just because our school is very prone to transfer students coming.
Great, thank you.
I was just, with all the congestion, is there any concern about the impacts of the idling that must go on the students' health and the sort of air quality in the area? And were you looking to mitigate that in any way?
When it comes to air quality, obviously we can't really do much about it just because it is a school bus zone, and we also have wired T-buses coming. So, I mean, yeah, so we can't really do a lot other than propose electric school buses to the city and the town. However, we do advise for students to stay far back from school buses. Our school does do school safety presentations pretty often, especially when it comes to school buses, just for students to stay back. So that could definitely help the air quality a lot.